Live from Joe's mom's party basement, it's the Stacking Benjamin Show. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and today we're prognosticating the future, and we're predicting it too. And we've got a helper. The star of today's show, a magic 8-ball that Len Penzo purchased at Walmart. And speaking of, he's the purveyor of truth and buyer of 8 balls. Oh, wait, no, not 8 balls. 8 balls. Got to get that emphasis right. It's Len Penzo. And the guy who we predict will co-host a podcast in 2024, it's OG. And, of course, the woman with a documentary so beloved, it's probably the reason Netflix stayed afloat in 2023. It's Paula Pant. And now, a guy who I predict will start talking right after this intro, it's Joe Saul-Sehy.
And happy Friday, everyone. Sit back, relax. You found us. This is the Stacking Benjamin Show, and I am Joe Saul-Sehy, Average Joe Money on Twitter. I can't wait for today's episode to get rolling because much like children wait for the holiday season, I wait for this every year to see if Mr. Penzo's Walmart purchased amazingly pedestrian 8-ball is going to be fantastic this year. Before we go to Len to ask how the athlete, aka the 8-ball's doing, and maybe do a pregame interview with the 8-ball, let's see who else is here with us. Mr. OG, happy Friday.
I gotta figure out how to do it. There it is. Hearts.
And
hearts for everyone.
On an audio podcast, he makes hearts. For the YouTube people, congratulations, you got that. And
you get to see it.
To his right on the Zoom screen, Paula Pant from Afford Anything joins us from Manhattan.
Yes, I do. Hello. It's amazing to be here once again.
Happy New Year. Happy 2024, Paula.
Why, thank you. Thank you. Cheers to that.
What does a Paula Pant do on New Year's Eve?
So I'm in for the last 2 New Year's in a row. I've been in Atlanta. So it's very low key because I'm with my parents and they're 83 years old. So just mellow night at home with the 83-year-old.
Partying like an 83-year-old is what you're doing.
Exactly.
I know, man. I met your parents. I bet they can bring it. They disguise it
with the walker, you know.
Right. You better keep the conga line moving or you get whacked with a walker, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And Mr. Penzo, I know you're here, but did you bring the champion with you?
I did bring the champion here, as we can see right here. We've got the talking version. I also have, in case the talking version peters out, because to be honest, my talking 8-ball has not been feeling well lately. So maybe real quick, I'll just ask and see how it's doing. Magic 8-ball, are you feeling better today?
You can rely on that.
Oh, well.
He's in a good mood.
You know what, though, Len? You take the Magic 8-ball the last few years, I would kind of call your 8-ball a fibber a little bit.
You know, well, now, wait a minute. I can't remember how it did, the last time we did this. Did it pull it out or did it lose? I forgot. I can't remember.
It was barely. It was right at that 500 line. I mean, it was
the coin flip.
Right,
it was the coin flip.
Yes.
So yeah. So it can't be better than a coin flip. That's a lose. But I got to say, this is the second 8-ball we had. This is the replacement 8-ball. Remember the first one you had that got too foamy? That thing was amazing. Still here. I can barely see the answers in here, but if we need to, I can always go to it.
I don't know. There's a big piece of me that thinks we need to bring that one back. But we need to do first to celebrate the fact it's 2024.
What's that?
It's this. But because it's 2024, guys, we're going to double down and take this. Check this out. Impressive. Is that they don't do that on Afford Anything, Paula?
Ooh, ouch. Those fighting words. Starting off the new year salty.
Hey, Joe, you should have asked the 8-ball if it wanted to listen to an ad.
Well, let's do it now. 8-ball, did you want to listen to those brilliant sponsors of the Stacking Benjamin Show?
certain.
See?
Wow.
Yes. How about that?
Wow. Magic 8 Ball supports the Stacking Benjamins podcast.
It's a team player.
I gotta say,
it is a team player.
I got to say, Paula, because Paula and I, part of the Cumulus Radio Network, I was sweating that one a little bit. I was like, I hope it says yes. So John Wardock and Teresa Gage don't fire us. Like if I get a call right after this, Teresa? Yeah, what are you looking for, Teresa? Yeah. Pack your bags, Joe.
They're like, well, we were just in a conference with the Magic 8 Ball.
Magic 8 Ball said, we don't want to hear from you, Teresa. That always goes over well when you talk to the corporate overlords. We've got a great show today, Magic 8 Ball, so let's get moving. We're going to start off reviewing, seeing how the 8 Ball did last year. And Paula, we began our questioning with this from you.
All right. Will the U.S. officially enter a recession in the year 2023?
Oh, boy. Are we back in politics again? since
Are we not in a recession presently?
We're
Officially?
Technically, we are not yet in what is officially defined as a recession.
According to what? 2 negative GDP quarters, right? Isn't that the...
No. So while that is the common usage, like that's sort of the pop definition, it is not the official sanctioned term. So there's an organization that declares whether or not a recession has taken place.
Is this like Punxsutawney Phil has to see his recession?
What has that official organization used as their official diagnostic test for the last, I don't know, 65 years?
So there is. I can look it up.
Backtrack.
No. So I can look up the name of this organization. When we're not.
It turns out it's the NBER. Actually, I think that OG was about to say that there, but it's the National Bureau of Economic Research. And so we ask it if we are going to go into recession. And by the way, the answer to that question, of course, was no. We did not hit it. So no matter, OG, how you felt at the time, we sidestepped it, as a lot of people said. Do you guys think that's going to continue? Well, maybe we ask the 8 Ball that later. I don't know.
Oh. But what did the 8 Ball say? What was the 8 Ball's prediction?
We'll get there in a second. I'm building the thirst.
The agony.
Speaking of thirst.
She's like, just tell us. All right, fine. We'll find out what the 8 Ball said.
No. Build. Let it linger.
Well, Paul, I was going to ask you, though. It didn't, to a lot of people, it didn't feel like a good year. Like there was so much negativity in the zeitgeist.
Right. You know, what's interesting is that this is the year in which economic data and economic sentiment have been miles apart. I mean, sometimes that happens, but this year, more so than any other year, I think has been characterized by the gulf between the data and the sentiment. Sentiment is highly pessimistic, and that can be quantified by things like the number of people on Glassdoor.com who are looking up layoffs, for example, who are anticipating a potential layoff, even though that hasn't happened to them yet, right?
I think you're going to say the number of people on Glassdoor.com who are bitching, because there's a lot of people on Glassdoor.com any day that are bitching, but if that number goes up, we're probably looking at bad times.
Yeah, and it's like you look at that search data for people who are fearing a layoff, and then you contrast that against the unemployment rate, right? We have historically 50-year low unemployment. So and that's just one of many examples. An example after example after example, we see that the economy is doing incredibly well. We also see that people feel really bad. So,
the reason they feel bad, and I'll tell you that the real reason is inflation. So your purchasing power goes down. You feel like you're not doing so well.
Even if you do have a job, you feel like your dollar's not going as far, is what you're saying.
Of course. If you feel your living standard is dropping, then you're not doing well, even if you have a job. So, but again, that's in contrast to if you have a stock portfolio, and stocks have been doing very well. So, I guess it all depends on your measurement. I think the average person out there, though, they probably use their purchasing power. That's their main gauge. And I think inflation has just bit into that this year.
The answer to this question, again, the question was, will the National Bureau of Economic Research show that the U.S. will officially enter into a recession in 2023 before December 1st? The answer was no. This is what the 8 Ball said.
The answer you seek is yes.
Well, we're off and running, aren't we? The 8 Ball gets it wrong.
8 Ball missed that one.
When we look at it, though, the 8 Ball might have been feeling the sentiment. Like, I got to give it to the 8 Ball. Certainly felt at the time, like, man, to OG's point there that we heard from early last year, that maybe things aren't that great. Let's move on. Len had the next question, and this is what he asked.
So I-bonds got a lot of press in 2022. They were throwing off returns of I think over 9% May through November, and then the latest I-bond was in at 6.89%. My question for the 8 Ball here is: will the I-bond interest rate that is announced in November of 2023, will that be under 6%?
We went from, hold on, just so everybody knows that isn't familiar with this, we went from an I-bond that was at 9 plus to an I-bond that was at 6 plus, and you're saying, is it going to continue to deteriorate? That's really kind of what you're asking here. Yeah, the interest rate
so
here.
will it be less than?
So will the I-bond go below 6% in November 2023? The answer, by the way, is yes. It certainly did. And it looks like, Len, it may trend even lower.
Yeah, that's where it's going. I mean, it's kind of a lagging indicator. But so, yeah, right now, there's nothing to suggest it's going to go higher. But you never know. We'll see. I guess we'll find out in May.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out what the Magic 8 Ball said right here. So the answer was yes. Did the 8 Ball think it was yes?
Yes, without question.
Very definitive there,
and
Len.
that was and now that should be 2 points because it was so confident. So we should give the 8 Ball 2 points for that one.
And he should have only lost half a point because it felt like we were in a recession.
In for the
Yes, right. I love it.
We do got to put some applause in, I think. Where's the... there you go. Nice job.
Very good. Very
I don't know, but it
this
feels
is
kind of like
this is like my kids. The 8 Ball is like my son, so I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him.
1-1.
It kind of feels the same as those sporting events where the team's down by a lot and the athlete spends way too much time cheering. Like, come on, just play the game. So here we go. Speaking of play the game, OG had the next question.
Yeah, so I'll just keep it going on the recession talk / interest rates. Will the Federal Reserve lower rates in 2023?
So will they, by December 1st, what do we want to ask? The rates are lower?
Rates. Not rates are lower, but will they have a lowering?
Oh, will there be a lowering of that? So even
A rate
just
cut.
just
Will
to
there
be
be a
clear,
rate cut?
Will there be a rate cut?
23?
Yep.
Will there be a rate cut in 23?
Okay, this is interesting. The answer, of course, was that we did not get a rate cut during that time, OG.
Close. Next best thing was they said we're good, which is what has caused the market to respond very positively. One would think over the last, maybe 6 weeks or so. It's been kind of on a tear in 6 weeks.
Going to be interesting to ask it what happens in 2024 because sure feels like we got a lot of rate cuts coming. Oh,
I
don't want to pre-ask the question
lined up.
Yeah,
Settle down.
I'm just pontificating. I'm not asking the 8 Ball. Let's see what the 8 Ball said on this one. The answer was no. What did the 8 Ball say?
That is a likely outcome.
And it was a likely outcome, OG. It was definitely a likely outcome. And it didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Close though. I mean, next best thing. So to Len's point, because it's one of his kids, we can award it half a point for being close. Like horseshoes and hand grenades.
And Len's kids. I'm up next in the first round. So we've got 8-ball, 1-2 against. So here's the last question of round 1. I'm going to start with this question from longtime stacker Matt Kramer. Matt's question, this won't be the official question, was will gold or Bitcoin be the better buy next year? We can't answer that because that's be a yes no question, Matt. So I'm going to change it up for you a little bit, buddy. I'm going to ask, will returns of gold beat the return in Bitcoin next year? Will the return in gold between January 1st through December 1st beat the return in Bitcoin? How about that one?
I want to know.
What do you guys think? Well, this is interesting because at the time we asked this, we thought we were going into recession. And Bitcoin was in the can, as the late Charlie Munger said. He called it crypto crap.
Crypto crappo.
Yeah, there's the Munger quote. It was crypto crappo at the time. The crypto crappo
May
did
he
very
rest
good.
in peace.
Yes, crypto crappo did very good, Len. But gold, how did our gold turn out for 2023?
Gold did very well, actually, but I don't think it did as good as crypto. By December 1st, it was probably up, 15% maybe? You have the answer. What are you asking me for?
I just have the answer about which one did better. And so the answer is...
I think gold was up 15%, but I think crypto's way up. Bitcoin was, I think, did much
and
better.
Bitcoin was up. I think the number was a bazillion. Was a bazillion in 2023.
Probably almost doubled.
And that's why, by the way, as I told Gene Chatsky before our break, that's why all my money was in Ethereum, was because Bitcoin went up. If I would have had Bitcoin, it would have been different. But will gold appreciate more than Bitcoin? The answer here is no. The 8-ball said, what's the 8-ball's name, Paula? What did you say the 8-ball's name was?
Mr. Predicto.
Mr. Predicto. Mr. Predicto said...
Yes, I am sure.
Wow. Well, he was very sure, and turns out he was wrong. And Mr. Predicto, just like ChatGPT, very confidently, is down 3-1. Come on, that's a good joke. That's fun.
Let me just say this. The worst thing he can do is be 50-50. If he's miserably bad, then we can do an anti-Mr. Predicto. You can still make money off of Mr. Predicto by doing the opposite.
Like an inverse index?
Yes, an inverse. It's like an inverse. So that's okay. If we're going to be crappy, let's continue being crappy. What I don't want to see is a 50-50 again. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think 50-50 is the kiss of death for it. Round 2 of this charade is Paula asks a great question. During that question, by the way, around crypto, we talked a lot about Sam Bakman-Fried because that had just happened, right? Sam Bakman-Fried ends up, was it incompetence? Was it stealing? Paula, what do you think it was?
Well, what was he formally convicted for?
He was convicted of 7 counts of fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering.
Well, there you go.
Guilty of wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud. I'm looking at his Wikipedia picture too. He looks like he's over caffeinated. Just put it that way. But we go there with Paula's next question. Let's listen in.
Ooh. You know what? Since we're on the topic, will Sam Bankman-Fried go to jail in 2023?
Ooh. Short and sweet, Len. And the answer, of course, is yes. Sam Bakman-Fried did go to jail. And did the 8-ball agree?
There is no doubt.
Wow. So Mr. Predicto got it right.
Yes.
That was an easy one, I thought. I thought that was a slam dunk.
I threw him a softball.
Yeah, that was a softball. Good one, Paula.
If you rub the magic 8-ball there, Len, and Mr. Predicto goes, duh.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Magic 8 Ball has 2, 4, and 3 against. We move quickly into a lens. And I wonder, will Len ask a question about precious metals?
I'm going to get a do-over on the silver price. Let's hope, I'm hoping anyways, will the silver price exceed $50 this year in 2023?
So the question there, will silver go above 50? I remember Len having one silver expert on our show saying that silver will frustrate you longer than you will stay solvent.
Or even alive. It depends how long. Yeah, silver's a very frustrating metal. Yes.
Did silver get close to 50 this year? I didn't follow.
No, not even close. I think it peaked out this year around 26, 27, and then it's kind of fell down and around 22, and now it's sitting, it's in the mid 20s still, I think. So
sounds like a good buy, Len.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Nothing more fun than baiting Len Penzo on precious metals. Could be the year. It's got to be the year. All right, let's listen here for the Magic 8 Ball. The answer is no. It did not go anywhere close to $50.
You can rely on that.
Well, you can rely on it. Again, I feel like that's half the questions I asked. That was half the questions I asked ChatGPT this year. It would very confidently give me financial stuff that wasn't in the ballpark.
Well, you got to be confident. You got to be.
He's Mr. Predicto's down 4-2, or is it 5-2?
Mr. Predicto
Easy,
now has
Paula.
missed on 4 and 2. Still could make it that 500 game that Len doesn't like by the end of round 2, with a hope in the last round of making this an epic year. But we're not there. He's got to get the next 2 right. So let's see what OG asked it. OG, you are next up with your second.
It's my second one, right?
Question.
Okay, so just a real easy one. Couple of not so great months in 2022. Stock market was down. At the time we're recording it, there's still time. There's still hope.
Come on, baby.
Positive. Come on, Santa Claus rally. Big money, no whammy. Big money, no whammy.
It's got to be a fat Santa Claus rally. I'm not talking about FAT. I'm talking about it's got to be PHAT rally.
That's all right with me.
We need a fat rally.
Baby needs new shoes. Come on, big money, no whammy. Stop.
You can do it.
So I did read something, and I'm not much of a market predictor, or, I don't kind of read into a lot of this stuff, but I did read something that said, after the market's down a certain amount, statistically it's, the next 12 months is going to be higher, yada, yada, yada. So this is just real simple. Is the S&P 500 in 2023 going to have a return greater than 10%?
And that has to be by December 1st.
Yep.
All right. And OG, it turned out to be a little bit of Santa Claus for the stock market this year.
It's been fantastic the last 5 weeks, right?
Yeah. And even small companies came around, not the S&P, even just bringing the other indices with it.
Well, and you look at some of that stuff and you just figure that there has to be some regression to the mean. If there's going to be some big disparity, I think it was the beginning of November, the disparity between large companies and small companies was the greatest ever in terms of its underperformance, small companies' underperformance to large companies. So you think, okay, well, it's not a new thing. It's got to get back to even, I guess. So it's been a fun couple of weeks. Everybody's feeling super confident. There was a big article in the Wall Street Journal that said, don't look at your 401k just because you hear, like, don't make decisions today based on how great you think you are, because it had nothing to do with you, was basically the moral of that story.
Oh, and how many people are going to take that advice?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah. All right, here we go. The answer is yes, it did do greater than 10%. Mr. Predicto said.
Yes, without question.
Whoa.
Hey, so Mr. Predicto
Confident.
one away. Is this a rally? We getting a rally?
Catching up.
This is it. Wow. I don't know what to do. This will be fantastic.
It's like what happens when you're partying with Paula and it's like 3 a.m. and you're like, it's time to go to bed. And she's like, no, it's time to rally. And you're up until 6 a.m. Like, rally.
And the night is so much more fun because of it.
You're not wrong.
Let's go to the last question in the second round. Len, I'm going to take a question from the group that's going to go back toward what you were asking that you weren't able to ask because of Elon Musk taking Twitter private. Tyler asked, will someone overtake Elon Musk as richest man in 2023?
Good question.
So by December 1st, which really would insinuate, right? I mean, because I think he's probably on solid ground with his SpaceX work. Tesla might have some issues, but really, Twitter's going to be the, either the good, bad, or the ugly. I think we could say Twitter was the good, bad, and the ugly because it's not even Twitter anymore.
I still haven't gotten used to that. The name change, by the way.
X. You don't even log in as X. You still log in as Twitter. Can you go to x.com and get to the same place? I don't even know.
You can.
Yes,
they both work.
They both work. I had no idea. I still would go to Twitter every time I go to X. But the answer to this, by the way, is interesting because somebody did overtake Elon Musk. And Len, the name of the dude that overtook him?
I'm pretty sure it was Bernard Arnault, and I can't remember what all he's invested in, but I mean, it's a lot of stuff. I think he had
Moet, Hennessy, and Louis Vuitton.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the guy. Yep.
Sorry, Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Yes. But he lost it again. Musk got it back.
And Tiffany, Christian Dior, Sephora.
Hennessy. It's good stuff. Overtook him
state.
for a while, and then Elon Musk, though, returned it. So the answer is, even though as we record this, Elon Musk is number one, the answer is yes, he did get overtaken in 2023. So wild times. But what did the 8-Ball say?
Yes, I am sure.
Wow, the 8-Ball.
Wow.
Pulls into a tie.
Yes, tied.
Two rounds down. This episode is sponsored by Tide. Wouldn't that be great? Tide, if you'd like to sponsor our show.
I'm just scrolling through the list right now, and I'm on number 2,540th. I still don't see my name. Dang it. Oh, I didn't check new to the list. Let me check new to the list. Yeah, still not there. All right, there's next year.
Let's go to round 3. Paula, what do you got for the 8-Ball to finish your questions?
Well, as longtime listeners know, every year I always ask a question about the British royal family. This year's question is, Prince Harry is releasing a book called Spare that is set to be released around January 10th, 2023. Will the book Spare sell more than 5 million copies by December 1st?
Paula, that's a lot of copies, and we looked this up. Do you know the answer to this?
I don't know the answer to this. I assume it's probably yes, but I don't know the answer.
The answer is actually no, according to multiple sources, that it didn't reach that far.
Whoa.
I don't know if it's all the Harry and Meghan scuttlebutt with the family.
Wow.
I don't know if it's all the other stuff going on with that family, but it didn't reach 5 million copies, according to many sources. So the answer, shockingly, is a big no. But you probably read it 3 times, didn't you?
You know, I actually have not read it. Not yet. Not yet.
Yet. Yeah, the key there is
Whoa.
yet. Waiting for the right moment. Here we go.
You know, I did read Matthew Perry's memoir, and I've got to say that one was excellent.
I saw that the other day on the shelf. Of course, nothing better than taking advantage of a guy's death to make sure we sell more books.
Yes.
Or to get his word out. He wrote the memoir to get his story out.
Very nice. Paula takes the nice view. Joe takes the cynical view. That's good. Let's dive in. Will the book Spare sell more than 5 million copies? The answer was no.
Yes, I am sure.
Well, man.
How?
Gosh. This is
Back behind by one, but it can still do it. There's 3 questions to
Yeah,
go.
it can close that gap.
Is there a tiebreaker question too?
There is a tiebreaker question, but we had a problem with this next one. And I just want everybody to hear what this question is. And then I'll tell you what Karen, our producer, and I went through, what hell we went through before we came up with our answer.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about UFOs, and the military has been, hinting that there's, alien creatures out there. They've seen the UFOs, and they haven't come out right and said that that's happened. But will there be definitive proof in 2023 that extraterrestrial life exists?
What are we going to use as definitive proof? You guys remember what we said with the proof would had to be?
I think we said a major media outlet would have to report it.
Major media outlet. We looked at the Wall Street Journal. We looked at the New York Times. We looked at Reuters reporting. We went to the AP. We looked all over the place. And what's funny was when the hearings were going on about extraterrestrials, Len, if you remember, there were some incredibly credible people there that were talking about their sightings, the things that they had seen from extraterrestrials. And based on all of these different places and all of the credible people that said that they were real, Karen and I decided that just based on the reporting, and you had to pick one, so you picked the New York Times. Based on the reporting for the New York Times, we had to answer yes. Even though I think there's a lot of people in the audience going, what? What? Len, do you think that yes is the right answer?
Well, I'm biased anyways, because I've always thought there was something out there. So, have they come out flatly and said it? No. But I mean, if you just add up all of the testimony that happened this past year, I would say yes. I think yes is a fair answer.
I remember the testimony was amazing and nobody cared. Testimony, all of the people talking about was amazing, and the whole world went, I'm watching TikTok. I don't really care.
Yeah.
OG, you think the answer here is yes?
No, not even in the ballpark of being yes. So far removed from the answer yes.
Did you see any of the testimony or the reporting in any of the major publications?
This doesn't make any sense to me. Think about it. Like, we told everyone when we landed on the moon. Could you imagine if we landed on Mars and there were other people? What would or things or whatever? Like, what would we do? Be like, oh, we're not gonna tell anybody. We'd capture one of them and take it back and like, look what we have. The other people, the things.
You do make a good point, because I think the key word was definitive proof. Definitive proof. And maybe testimony is not definitive proof, right?
To me, it just seems like for there to be another species that has the wherewithal to manifest themselves in Earth, to Earth, that they are so much smarter than us, unless they're living among us. Wait. Hold on. Maybe. Are you guys aliens? Dog's an alien. Dog's an alien. That answers a lot of questions, because you know how he dresses, right?
I don't know.
He doesn't dress like a normal person.
Nobody's hiding anything. I mean, you look at these Navy pilots. These are Navy pilots.
I'm saying the alien people wouldn't be hidden. Like they could show up. They come from another galaxy, like a bajillion light years away. They're so much smarter than us. And they're not like, hey guys, so listen, hydrogen, trust us. This is how you want to do it. Oh, that little ass computer that you've got. No. Check this out. Look what we can do. Here, have this. Like, even if they're like helpful elves or something, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't they want to, maybe they want to, or they take us over and take all our resources. Like there would be some sort of, it would be like Independence Day is what I'm saying in the movie. And
you make a good case.
There's never been in the history of mankind a scenario where a superpower, except for the United States, didn't show up and go, oh, we can kick your ass. So we're gonna, just cause we want this land, basically. And the U.S. did it in the U.S. part. We just haven't done it to like Canada and Mexico or anywhere else.
Did the New York Times specifically say, did it specifically say proof of extraterrestrials, has been revealed?
Well, I think the answer then, I guess, Len, has to be no.
You are the final arbiter.
Karen had this as yes.
Well, whatever, I am with you as long as it corresponds with what Mr. Predicto said.
That's right. We don't care what it is as long as the 8 ball's right. Let's give it a listen and find out. The answer is no. What's the 8 ball say?
Proof.
You can rely on that.
You even said it at the time, Len. You said it at the time. But you got to admit, they came closer. They even had that guy in Mexico and the Mexican government supposedly coming out with, we had an alien, remember?
Yeah, did you see that thing? That was pretty impressive, actually. I was looking at that.
Pretty impressive cool. And pretty fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they prove it fake? So did they prove that to be fake?
I don't know. I know the background of the guy that was trying to prove it was real, and that was sketchy.
Oh, he's a little sketchy. Okay, well,
slightly, yeah.
Well, then I'm formally protesting.
Just like every year, this is not the Stacking Benjamin show without something being under protest. So we got to have that. All right. Next question goes to OG. Right now, we need the 8 ball to 8 ball in the last 2.
Yep.
My kind of off the wall one is something that's going to frustrate you, I think, Joe, a little bit.
I know where you're going. I knew you were going to ask this.
What do you think I'm going to ask?
I think you're going to
hold on. 8 ball. Does Joe know what I'm going to ask?
It has been determined so.
All right. What am I going to ask there, Mr. Joe?
You were going to ask if the University of Michigan football team is going to be in the national championship game.
Actually, no, I hadn't even thought about that. All right, mine hits a little
there we go. There's the 8 ball again for you. We got it.
That doesn't count.
It doesn't count. Redo. This one hits a little firmer. Is Bob Iger going to resign from Disney before the end of 23?
Oh. He kind of OG wishes that he would have on some days. Yeah. Some of the stuff he said around the Hollywood writer's strike got him some headlines I don't think he wanted. Plus, bringing back Disney Plus, it turns out that maybe some of the problems weren't all Bob Chapek's, because I think now he's in a world of regret that he's back. But he didn't resign, and he didn't get fired.
Not yet. We'll see. See how long that stock price can stay at $90 a share before people. Well, there has been some pretty decent activist stuff going on, like in terms of people trying to get on the board and force some change and that sort of stuff. So
all kinds of activist board member stuff.
We're going to visit a mouse house in a couple of weeks, so I'll report back.
You're going to prop up earnings single-handedly?
Well, a 1 day times 5 plus Genie Plus is $1,300.
I know. So, Cheryl and I are going at the end of January, and 1 day park hopper at Walt Disney World, $250 each, $500 for 2 of us. Just for the ticket to get in, $500.
What is the one you're doing that's $1,300?
I can't say the words out loud because of where I am presently, but it's by you. It's the only one by you. Yeah. So, and it's for but I have 5 of them. 5 of them.
Oh, that was $1,300 for 5 of them. For 5 people. Okay. Because
now it's totally allowable.
Oh, that's not. Well, you know what? I used to get a season pass, and it was for the family. It was $99 a person. That was 20 years ago.
He's coming out about the same
season
price.
pass.
It's very close to the same price we paid, about $250 just to get in. That's crazy. Happiest place on earth.
Because it's a one day.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right, here we go. The 8-Ball's got to run the table here. Is Iger going to resign from Disney before December 1st? He did not, the 8-Ball said.
Yes, I am sure.
When he sells out to Apple. Yep.
You think so? I don't think he's going to resign. Maybe he will.
And then we ask about selling out to Apple. By the way, we said at the time that we thought the 8-Ball had maybe taken a bender on these last few questions. The 8-Ball in the last 3 questions is 0 for 3. And we predicted it a year ago that the 8-Ball was probably wrong on these. So that means the 8-Ball is going to lose.
Yeah, not doing good. What are we at?
We're now 2 below
Well, okay, so we want to lose big.
the 500 mark, so it can only pull to 1 away. And let's just do it because we've got a message from somebody who's a member of our Basement Facebook group. Will the Detroit Lions lose the 2023 Thanksgiving Day game again? And the answer is, as a longtime Detroit Lions fan, Lions are having a year. For those of you that don't follow football,
Great
Detroit
year. Yeah, they
Lions
are.
having a
Great year.
very good year. But on Thanksgiving Day, we kept with the long-standing tradition of getting our ass beat on national TV by the Green Bay Packers. Just fantastic fun to make sure that I didn't have to watch very much TV that day, which was good. I got to enjoy the family time and stay away from watching my Lions lose. So the answer is Lions lost. Here we go. Does the 8-Ball think that they were going to lose?
Everything points to yes.
There it is. It came back on. Even the 8-Ball knew after that wild ride of thinking aliens were going to be real and that the book but Bob Iger was going to resign before December 1st. Even the 8-Ball got it right that the Detroit Lions would lose again.
So to recap, we're 1 behind, right? The Mr. Predicto is 1 behind. 8-Ball
lost
is 1
by
behind.
1.
Okay.
Lost by 1.
It's over?
Yeah. 5 right out of 12 questions.
Wow. Not only did the 8-Ball lose, but also it's close to that 50-50.
Yeah. One away.
But that 50-50 question with the alien, it would have won. If you'd have not switched the answer, it would have been up by 1.
It very well. It would have been a tie.
Yeah. Would have been a tie.
I was voting for you, Len. Blame OG for saying aliens aren't real.
Don't we have a tiebreaker question? I thought there was a tiebreaker question. Or was
we do have a tiebreaker question, but we don't even have a tie.
So
But we would under Len's fantasy world. So I would submit to the judges that I would take a tie just to hear the tiebreaker question.
All right, the tiebreaker question. I'm not going to go back and find this because for those of you that aren't in on the production of this, it takes me about 18 hours to go back and find every single one. But the answer, the question that we asked, and Paula, you're the one that asked this, will the Magic 8-Ball answer more questions correct than wrong next year? Was the question you decided was the tiebreaker. We all agreed with Paula. The answer, of course, would have been no. If aliens were real, the answer would have been no, that it did not answer more correct than wrong. And the 8-Ball answer did answer no. So the 8-Ball would have won by 1 on the tiebreaker.
Wow. So if there was a tie, the 8-Ball would have won the tiebreaker.
this is very meta.
it was actually-
This is very meta.
Wow.
I'm
It was
so
actually
confused
specifically,
as to what's
Paula, how
happening.
you asked the question. When you said, will it answer more
Right.
correctly? And the answer, because it would have been
Right.
tied, would have been no. And it would have, even though the answer was no, you would have won.
Right. Because it didn't answer more correctly, which itself would have been correct.
This is deep. This
Yes.
is deep.
The 8-Ball's not wrong. It's the fact that OG doesn't believe in aliens that wrecked everything. Let's be clear.
Wow.
I need a potty break.
Wow.
We're going to all take a potty break. We'll let the audience take a potty break. We have our questions for 2024 for the 8-Ball right after this. Welcome to the second half of our special roundtable episode, The Magic 8 Ball, where we're asking the Magic 8 Ball for those of you with short-term memory loss and have no idea what we were doing the first half of the show. Or for those of you that for some reason start your podcast in the middle, we're going to ask the Magic 8 Ball predictions about 2024. Paula, there's got to be something that you really want to know the answer to when it comes to these next 12 months.
There are a lot of things that I would like to know the answer to when it comes to the next 12 months. But let's kick off with my annual tradition of asking a question about the royal family.
We're going right to the royals right away.
You know, it's just for those of you who have listened to Stacking Benjamins over the years, if we've grown up together, you know, there's always an annual royal family question. What's nice about these Magic 8 Ball episodes is that each episode is a little bit of a time capsule into what was on our minds, what was in the zeitgeist at this point 1 year ago. And so to capture the royal family mood of right around the new year as we flow from 2023 into 2024, the big question right now is, will Harry and Meghan reconnect with the royal family, or will the split be only continue to worsen? And so I think the way to quantify that is, will Harry and Meghan both spend at least 2 months in the UK between January 1st through December 1st of 2024?
I don't believe they have a residence there anymore. I think they had to give that up when they rescinded their positions, correct?
Frogmore Cottage. They agreed to compensate the taxpayers for the renovations, $3 million in renovations that they made to their residence. And I do believe they gave up the cottage, but I'm sure somebody would let them stay somewhere were they to come back to the UK. Well, you know, let's make it 1 month. Let's make it 1 month. Mm-hmm.
They could stay in the UK and still not be reconciled.
That's true, but we just need some type of quantifiable way to answer this question, right? Because, like, you know, did Harry have a heart-to-heart with William is not something that we could ever definitively know, unless they made a public statement about it.
So what source are you going to go to get this? Is it, are you going to stand outside the house this year and just wait?
Ooh. Let's go with People Magazine as the most reliable source of celebrity news.
We'll go with People Magazine.
Yes, according to People Magazine, will Harry and Meghan spend at least 1 month in the UK between January 1st through December 1st of 2024?
Len?
All right. Mr. Predicto, you're up.
Ask later when the time is right.
It sounds like we got to play some Barry White and ask it again.
Let's try.
When the time is right. Oh, here we go.
It is best not to say now.
Oh my goodness.
God. Mr. Predicto,
it's a little
this
gun
is ridiculous. I know he's probably embarrassed after his performance from the last. Come on, buddy. Let's just answer the question.
You can rely on that.
Oh,
well, there we go. I don't know if we can rely on the fact that it. Can we rely on the fact that it doesn't want to answer? Or are we relying on the fact that
we're off to an ominous start. I know that.
I don't know, but sounds like reconciliation, Paul. It might be in the air.
Right. I mean, after the bombshell allegations that have come out, you know, it would be rather sweet to see Harry and Meghan get more involved with their family across the pond.
I wonder with the resurgence of Suits, right? I mean, we've had a big resurgence in the show that she was a big part of. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering how much money that pays, those residuals. I know from the strike that those residuals don't pay what they used to, nowhere close to what they used to pay. But I'd be curious to see if that resurgence really put some money in their pocket.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Let's go to Len, because you know what, Paula? I have no idea what Len's going to ask. How about that segue?
Well, I'm going to start with my traditional precious metals question, of course. This time we're going to look at gold, and I would like to know, right now it's sitting at about just above 2,000. I want to know if it's going to get to 2,500 by December 1st of 2024. Mr. Predicto, will gold hit $2,500 by December 1st.
Just to give people an idea before you hit the 8 ball.
It's a 25% return.
Yeah, on the day we're recording, I think I was about to say that, OG. I think that's about a 25% return. It's a big number, Len.
That's a big number. Hey, okay. You could look at this as another softball for Mr. Predicto. So, and let's see what he says though. He could screw it up just like he screwed up the whole last year. So let's see what he.
Yeah, all right.
It has been determined so.
Uh-oh.
There it is. Gold's going to do 25%.
Could be good if you're a gold bug.
If the Royals get back together and gold goes up 25%.
There's probably aliens also.
Yeah. Do we build the doomsday shelter then? Is that what we do?
Wow.
I told you he's not feeling well.
Yeah, I guess not. OG, what do you got?
So my question, we've got a big presidential election coming up. Will there be a change in the executive branch in terms of party? Because, there's some question as to whether or not President Biden may run, may not run, so I don't know how that's going to all shake out. But will there be a change in the party in the executive branch?
Not with a different Democrat win. It's going to be, will it be Republican or some other party or independent?
Yes. I don't suspect an independent will win, but who knows? But will be a different party in the White House.
Well, Mr. Predicto does have his bona fides in politics. I mean, he actually predicted that Trump would be elected back in 2016. If you remember that, that was quite the call. That was quite the call.
I do recall 538.
Okay,
Mr. Predicto. Same.
Okay, you want to ask one more time? One more.
Yes.
Time.
Will there be a change in party in the executive branch relative to the election? Obviously, we know it doesn't take effect until 2025, but
all right, let's see.
Will there be a change?
The answer you seek is yes.
Yes. The next president will not be a Democrat.
Okay.
There it is.
Right.
The political
heard
question.
it here first.
Out of the way. I went, like I always do, to our Facebook group, and I got some great ones. The question, we had the Bitcoin tear this year. Bitcoin being left for dead by some people a year ago. Now Bitcoin with a big resurgence. Matt in our Facebook group wants to know, will Bitcoin reach $50,000 by December 1st? How about that one? Bitcoin 50. What are you thinking, Paula?
I like it. Very specific. The next halving event is supposed to take place in the spring of 2024. And so with every Bitcoin halving event, historically, the price of Bitcoin has always shot up shortly after the halving. So I think that there's a very good chance that it will.
That's roughly a 25%, also a 25% gain.
I know
over the year.
We're going for 25s here. All right. Len, will Bitcoin reach 50,000?
I don't know, but should we ask Mr. Predicto?
Go for it.
Mr. Predicto.
The answer is no.
Wow, that
It
was
will not.
Oh. Wow.
It's going to be interesting.
Very interesting.
If it does it, what's the storyline going to be? I mean, if it sits where it is or maybe gets a 10% return, that's an interesting story. If it goes to the floor like it did a couple of years ago, that's a whole nother story.
Mm-hmm.
But man, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to following crypto next year. Let's take
paper hands Predicto.
Let's go to round two. Paula, what do you got?
All right. Well, on the topic of 25% rises in value, 25% gains, since we're running with that, every year I always ask a question about a Latin American ETF. And so on keeping with that theme, the iShares Latin America 40 ETF, ticker symbol ILF, Will it, by December 1st, have year-to-date gains above 25%?
Looking at the iShares Latin America 40 this year, it began the year just below $23 a share. Today it's trading, it made it almost up to 30. It's trading closer to 28 and a quarter as of today, but still not a bad run from 23 up to 28. Yeah.
Yeah. Big gains across 2023.
25%, Len. Will ILF do 25% or more from January 1st to December 1st?
Let's find out.
Everything points to no.
I'm headed to Latin America, so I'm going to be doing my best to keep the markets up.
We have to listen
I
to
do
this
hope it goes
already.
down a little bit, though. What's that?
So we have to listen to this already?
Oh, about my trip
I'm
to
headed
Peru?
to Latin America. Scoreboard.
There's a yes. So headed to Peru. Going to visit Machu Picchu and say hi from all of us.
Joe goes to all these cool things. Len, do you ever get invited to Joe's excursions? I mean, he goes to Bali, Spain, Bavaria, Egypt, Jordan.
That's pretty nice, isn't it?
Never once asked me, hey, what are you doing next Tuesday, OG? Headed to Machu Picchu if you're bored. Bro, I'm bored. Hook me up.
Going to Texarkana. It's exciting.
Hard pass.
All right. So there is Paula's. Let's move on. Len, what do you got for us?
Okay. So this year, it was very interesting. We had Times Person of the Year was Taylor Swift. And I was looking into that a little bit. Did you know that prior to 2014, I think the first Person of the Year or Man of the Year at the time, it was called the Times, started in like 1929 or something like that. It started a long time ago. And up until 2014, there were only 3 individual females that had ever been awarded the cover there on the Times Person of the Year.
Wow. Only 3.
And then from 2015 to this year, 2023, or the previous 2023, and where Taylor won, 3 since then, 3 more individual women have won now in the last 10 years. So that got me thinking, is it possible for the first time that the Times Person of the Year could be a back-to-back female individual winner? So let's ask, and maybe that's possible. Mr. Predicto, will Times Person of the Year for 2024 be an individual woman, therefore being the first time ever for a back-to-back female winner?
Without hesitation, yes.
Wow. That's a very good question, Len.
So I guess the question is who? Who could it be?
Yeah.
Who could it be?
Paula Pant, duh.
Could be Paula.
I mean, it depends on what the big news stories are in the next year. I doubt I will be the center of any of them, but
But
if I am in the center of a news story, I hope it's as the good one.
Would you like to make your acceptance speech now?
Maybe you'll discover proof of extraterrestrials.
That's probably
You'll be the
gonna
one,
be it.
Paula.
Ooh.
That'll get you right on that cover.
All right, let's go OG to you, my friend. What's your second one?
My second one's going to be a money question today. So we were talking a little bit about interest rates and inflation and recession from 2023. Right now, the Fed funds rate is somewhere between 5.5 or 5.25 and 5.5. My question is will the Fed funds rate be lower than 4.25? So 25% reductions or 4 quarter point reductions or one big giant 1% reduction. I don't know how they're going to do it, but is it going to be 1% lower than it is right now? So 4.25 or lower by December 1, 2024.
By December 1st? So what if it goes down and comes back up?
Ooh, that would be epic. I don't. That's not really a thing that they do, right? They don't. It's kind of a trend.
No, but the way you phrased it is like, is it good enough that it just drops, to 4.25 at some point before December 1st, or does it have to be below 4.25 on December 1st?
At December 1st.
I would say below by December 1st, although I'd like to ask the judges if I may be allowed the meeting that happens in early December as also to be part of this. I know we say December 1st, but there's a meeting in early December. I feel like I need that.
Let's say December 15th.
4.25 or under on or near December 15th.
Highly doubtful.
Not as much loosening of the rates as we thought.
Yeah, if that did come true, though, does that signal it's a pretty damn bad year in 2024 if they're just dropping them that much?
I don't know. I mean, they raised him that much, right? I mean, it went from damn near 0 to 5.5 in 2 years.
Really fast, but that was like record. That was record raising. I mean, they had never risen rates that quickly before.
I think it's bead risen.
But they will drop them fast.
Yeah.
The beer is kicking in on me here, Joe. So wait here. So.
And we're recording this at 6:30 in the
never
morning.
done it before like this. And I was singing. This Fed guys are bullshit, man. It's bullshit.
All right. I hope the 8-ball gets that one right, because I think that much of a drop just signals too many bad things going on if the Federal Reserve is going that crazy. We go to me and back to the Facebook group, and I like this one from Melvin. Melvin, I like where you're going with your question. I'm going to change it a little bit. Melvin asks if the Magic 8-ball is going to be replaced by Chat GPT.
Never.
And by
Never.
the way, we should have covered the 8-ball's ears before we even said that, because the 8-ball needs all the confidence it can get. But we did see a possibility. We saw some shaking at OpenAI this year, right? We saw a problem where the board tried to get rid of the CEO, and then by popular demand, he came back. So here's my question. Will there be a change in leadership at OpenAI? And it can happen one of two ways. Either A, OpenAI no longer controls their own destiny. They're controlled by some other entity. Or number two, we have a different CEO. That's my question.
That's your question. So either of those two is
either of those two.
That's an oral. Okay.
Yes.
Very good. All right.
Will there be a change at the top in one of those two ways?
Okay. Very good. Let's see. That's kind of a softball for Mr. Predictor. Let's see.
No.
It's good. What's past is past, is what Mr. Predicto is telling us. Things are going to continue going crazy over there.
That was very, very definitive.
Yes,
One word.
it was very definitive. Yep. He had no other comment. He's just telling you no.
If I made a Mr. Predicto, like if we came up with another one, I'd give it some other phrases like back off.
Yeah, right. In your dreams.
I like the duh also. Yeah. Duh would have been a good one too.
Duh.
We do. We got to make gotta make a new version of this.
Yep.
This thing. All right. That is the second round. We got one more round left. Paula, what else are you interested in learning about for the next 12 months?
All right. Well, Apple's Vision Pro is coming out in 2024. So
it looks so cool.
Doesn't it? Spring 2024 is looking like it's going to be a big time for tech. We've got the Bitcoin halving event. We've got Apple's Vision Pro coming out. So and then like when Apple Vision Pro comes out, there may or may not be renewed interest in the metaverse, and we'll see how that unfolds over the span of the year. And so I am curious in terms of general popular adoption of Apple's Vision Pro, right? And the way that culture changes through the adoption of new technology. I would like to know, by December 1st, will Apple sell more than 1 million units of its Vision Pro?
1 million units.
1 million.
Boy, for new technology like that, isn't that's great?
Now is not the right time to tell you.
Oh, don't tell us what to
not the
do
right time
there,
to
Mr.
tell us.
Predicto.
I'll try again.
Well, we should ask him again.
Ask nicely this time, Paul.
All right, Mr. Predicto, I would
Butter him up.
greatly love your input on the following question. Will an entity known as Apple, which is a company based in the United States, will it sell more than 1 million units of a new device termed the Vision Pro in 2024 prior to December 1st?
The answer cannot be found at this moment.
He just wants you to keep talking like that.
Yeah, I think he likes it.
Talk even slower,
All right,
Paula.
Mr. Predicto. Mr. Predicto, you have no doubt heard the hubbub, the hoopla, the razzmatazz around Apple's Vision Pro. I am curious
Kerfuffle.
if the number of units sold by Apple of the Vision Pro prior to December 1st of 2024 will be a number that is at least 7 figures, meaning 1 million.
Yes, it is certain.
God, I took him that day to answer that one.
Now it's certain.
Ooh, yeah. Wow, took him all day to get to that one.
You really had to think about it.
Mr. Predicto, would you like to go out with Paula for drinks after the show?
There is no doubt.
Aw, very sweet.
Paula's
Very
got a fan.
sweet.
Paula's got a fan. All right, that brings us to you, Len. What's your last question?
Okay, so we're talking AI, and I think NVIDIA, I think they had a huge year this year.
Huge.
In 2020. Huge year. I think my goodness, I think they were up more than 200% on the year. The stock, I think, and now I think it's over $400, it's maybe pushing $500. So will this continue? Because in NVIDIA, it's because of the AI, the whole AI thing. They're just capitalizing on this now. So will that continue? Will NVIDIA, let's say, will the stock double again from the close of 2023? Will it double by December 1st? By December 1st.
Woof. We're leaving that 25% thing that we've been doing.
But you know what? I mean,
Wow.
This is huge. I mean, the AI thing, it's still, it still have room to run in the investment circles? So let's see.
And by the way, before you ask it, let's just kind of give the universe some information about Len and quoting stock prices. So this morning it was at $499.18. So you said 500, which is fantastic. Of course, as soon as you mentioned it, I noticed a pretty big sell-off of 3% today, or $15. So, so good job, Len. It's down to 481.
Thank you.
Down $15 since the high water mark. Down $20 since the high water mark this morning. Anyways, so you want it to
Turns out
double
the
again?
Chinese are
you
big
greedy
fans
SOB.
of the recording of this show. And they were
Can't get a 10% return like the rest of us, Len. You only do doubles, huh? All right, I get it.
All right. Do I have to ask this again? I think will NVIDIA double again by December 1st, 2024? Mr. Predicto. Hello.
The answer is yes.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going
Wow.
he was trying to sleep, Len.
Wow.
all in
I'm a
NVIDIA
little,
calls.
Yeah, he's Remember, this is not investment advice. This is not investment
Entertainment
advice.
purposes only. 140, by the way, was the opening price in 2023. 140, it's 480 something, so up 240%.
Yeah, so what's that? That's more than a double. That's more than a double. That's more than a two-bagger.
I would say,
not too
yes.
shabby.
I think
it is a quad almost.
Yeah.
I would also like to point out that anybody that heard what the 8-ball did with last year's results would not consider that investment advice either.
Right.
True, but this might be the one that it gets right.
All right, let's go to the last question. And OG, wait a minute. This is a penultimate question. Sorry.
Penultimate question. Correct.
Ooh.
This one I got from the upstairs, AKA my boys. I said, was there anything that you're curious about that we should ask the 8-ball for? And they're big Cowboy fans. They're loving the Cowboy stuff right now. So my son was very specific in his Cowboy question. Will it be the Cowboys versus the Bills in the Super Bowl? I was like, do you want to just the Cowboys to win?
I'm not so sure about.
You know, he said, no, Cowboys versus Bills in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
In 2024, that particular.
That is very particular. Okay, that's a toughie.
Hey,
Let's see.
Mr. Predicto, what you say?
He is getting tired. Boy, he is not responding. There we go.
Definitely not.
Oh,
But you don't know if that's negative about Texas or if it's negative about the Bills. Like, really, that could go either way.
I'm just glad he said no. I think the odds are no. The no is going to be that he's going to nail that one. There's just so many. That's very difficult to hit right when you're picking two teams like that. I think he did. I think he was smart.
I think one of my sons is trying to play the what is that called, the super trifecta or whatever it is, when you not only guess the winner, but you guess the loser and also all the other stuff. He's trying to parlay it. I'm not sure.
Maybe he should stick to NVIDIA stock.
I've got a bunch of great questions from people that I'd like to acknowledge that we're not going to do. Glenn wanted us to ask about the Detroit Lions again. And OG, your kids changed that one. I don't want to ask two of those in a row. Julie asked, will the Spartans win the national championship? Julie, have you seen the Spartans lately?
In what? Curling?
Answer's probably not. Mike asked, will Joe visit Bali in 2024? Can he refrain from talking about it? There's another one.
That's a good one.
Will the Chiefs trade Taylor Swift for Selena Gomez? John asks.
Nice.
Good one. Leave it to our stackers with some great questions. But let's go to a financial one here. You know, we've seen a lot of talk about inflation this year. Of course, inflation finally may be settling down. But if we have, an economy that struggles next year, maybe inflation heats up again. So I think that Vincent asked this question in a great way. He says, on December 1st of next year, let's change this to the day we record, Vincent. So it's because it's got to be a variable day because we got to go to the store and see. Will a can of Arizona tea still carry a price tag of 99 cents? That's almost like Len's sandwich survey every year, right?
Wow.
Or it's like the Costco hot dog special of $1.50, right? It's been that way forever. The hot dog and the Coke and the. Yeah, very good.
But sell where? Sell where for that?
For 99 cents? Apparently it costs 99 cents now. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure in New York City it would cost more.
Well, you know why?
I mean,
because somebody's got to walk it from Arizona.
Exactly.
Does a can of Arizona in Arizona cost 99 cents?
Wait.
I don't know.
Can I order it online? Hold on, the Arizona iced tea. Actually, on Instacart, 99 cents for a 23 fluid ounce can
There you go. Let's
of
use
Arizona
Instacart.
green tea with ginseng and honey. All right.
Okay, so yeah, we'll use Instacart. All right, Len, there it is. 99 cents on the day we record next year.
Definitely not.
Oh.
Wouldn't it be funny if it still was, but they were running a sale? I think that would be awesome.
I actually, so in full disclosure, so what I'm seeing on Instacart right now, and this is of course, Instacart knows that I live in New York City, so I'm seeing New York prices, but on Instacart right now, it is regular $1.09, but on sale 9% off for 99 cents. I can take a screenshot for posterity if you'd like.
Awesome.
Just use Joe's.
No, you just need the link for next time.
Just use the same link?
Well, so you
What?
can look it up next time.
Oh, I can just Google Instacart Arizona iced tea.
Or do
That would work too.
That's simpler. Yeah.
That would be fine. Whatever you think is appropriate.
All right. On that note, that will put the bow on our longest, maybe most fun episode. I love recording this every year.
Wait, do we need a tiebreaker?
Oh, we do
we ask
need a
an even number
tiebreaker.
of-
No bow yet. Don't put the bow on it yet. Paula, what's our tiebreaker going to be this year?
All right. Well, I loved the will the Chiefs trade Taylor Swift for Selena Gomez? I love that question, but we'll do a slightly modified version. By December 1st, 2024, will Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce still be in a relationship? And that could be that they are boyfriend-girlfriend. That could be that they're married. But will they be in a relationship?
Romantic.
A romantic relationship.
Or, Paula, and this won't be part of the official question, or will the name of Taylor Swift's next hit song be The Chief I Used to Love?
Aww.
Doesn't she write? She writes about every dude she dates and breaks up with, doesn't she? Yes?
I mean, everybody does. That's literally like half the majority of songs that are out there are love songs.
Have you written
across
songs
all
about your
artists and all
breakups?
genres.
Have you written? I've never written a
I
song
don't write
about my
songs.
breakup.
I don't know. I've never written a song, period, ever.
Well,
If I were to write a song, that's likely what I would write about.
I'm pissed off about so-and-so. Right. All right. Will they be in a relationship? All right, Len, what do we got?
Without hesitation, yes.
Whoa.
Wow.
That means they're sticking together, right?
Yeah, they're sticking
That's
together.
interesting.
Travis and Taylor.
How about
We'll
that?
see.
Congratulations. We'll be
Yeah.
the first to say congratulations. All right, let's finally now, let's put a bow on this thing. OG, what are you doing this first grand weekend of the new year?
Well, speaking of your Lions, I am going to go watch the Lions football game this weekend.
Bang. Fantastic. Lions having a heck of a year, so go Lions. Len, what's going on at lenpenzo.com, man?
You know what? We're looking at tricks retailers use to trick you into buying things. So there's these are actual tricks that they do, and a lot of people fall for them. So it's very interesting, actually. So stop on by lenpenzo.com. Will you be stopping by, Mr. Predicto, to read that article?
The answer is no.
Yeah, we're going to AI next year.
Have you heard about the kid with watermelons at the watermelon cart on the side of the road? A guy stops at the cart and says to the kid, "So how much you selling watermelons for?" And the kid goes, "It's $10 for one, or it's $8 for two." The guy goes, "Wait a minute, what?" "Yeah, it's $10 for a watermelon, or it's $8 for two." The guy goes, You're wow. Who came up with that pricing structure?" And the kid goes, "I did." He goes, "All right, man, I'm taking two." He's like, $8. And so he grabs the two watermelons and he puts them in the back of his car, but then he starts to feel guilty, right? That the kid just doesn't get it. And he walks back and he says to the kid, he's like, "Hey, man, you just got to realize, like, you just sold me two watermelons less than the price of one." He goes, "No, I use my pricing strategy to get you to buy two watermelons instead of buying one."
Tricky.
How about that? Yeah. Why did I bring that up?
I don't know, but I'm gonna go back and shove that one in my article. So before everybody reads it,
that's exactly why I brought it up, because it's a trick. Yes,
Arizona iced tea. It'll be like $50 for one.
That's right.
Or $1.98 for two.
Right. Yeah. That's happening at lenpenzo.com. Paula, what's going on at the Afford Anything podcast, which may be why you're going to be Person of the Year, because it'll be like Podcast of the Year.
Oh, that would be very sweet. That would be very sweet. Well, we're kicking off the year with an interview with Hal Elrod, who is the author of Miracle Morning. So because it's the new year, a lot of people have New Year's resolutions and goals. Hal Elrod talks about how to have a great morning routine so that you can hit your New Year's goals. And then, of course, today, the first Friday of January, we have our monthly First Friday bonus episode. So we're talking about what's happening in the economy. We're taking a snapshot of where we are. We're doing a bit of a 2023 year in review and a 2024 look ahead. So tune into our First Friday snapshot of current events episode.
Great way to kick off your year, getting things right with Hal Elrod. What a great getting that morning together, and then looking back at last year, just like we just did, but maybe a little bit more compact than what we just did. All right, that's gonna put a bow on it. Doug, well, why don't you put the bow on this? What is our to-do list for today?
So what's stacked up on our to-do list today? First, take some advice from the Magic 8 Ball. Get your savings account into something higher yield. It won't cost you anything. It takes maybe 15 minutes. Your wallet will congratulate you. Second, silver? Yeah, maybe don't buy that investment. Better yet, look through your investments and see which are too esoteric for your goals. Seriously, if you're out there picking stocks, are you picking or betting? Use indexes in 2024 for a more secure future. But my big to-do? Well, this one is obvious. Buy rental real estate in England to help people catch Harry and Meghan sightings. Or maybe better yet, the big lesson is to base your decisions on your plan and not a Magic 8 Ball. That would suck. Thanks to Len Penzo for joining us today. You can find Len at lenpenzo.com/I'm taking my ball and going home. Thanks to Paula Pant for joining us. You'll find her show, Afford Anything, wherever you're listening to us right now. And thanks also to OG for joining us today. Looking for good financial planning help? Head to stackingbenjamins.com/OG for his calendar. This show is the property of SB Podcasts, LLC, copyright 2024, and is created by Saul-Sehy. Our producer is Karen Repine. This show was written by Lisa Curry, who's also the host of the Long Story Long podcast, with help from me, Joe, and Doc G from the Earn and Invest podcast. Kevin Bailey helps us take a deeper dive into all the topics covered on each episode in our newsletter called The 201. You'll find the 411 on all things money at the 201. Just visit stackingbenjamins.com/201. Wonder how beautiful we all are? Of course, you'll never know if you don't check out our YouTube version of the show, engineered by Tina Eichenberg. Then you'll see once and for all that I'm the best thing going for this podcast. Once we bottle up all this goodness, we ship it to our engineer, the amazing Steve Stewart. Steve helps the rest of our team sound nearly as good as I do right now. Want to chat with friends about the show later? Mom's friend Gertrude, Stacy Doe, and Julia Garib are our social media coordinators, and Gertrude is the room mother in our Facebook group called The Basement. So say hello when you see us posting online. To join all the basement fun with other stackers, type stackingbenjamins.com/basement. For more interactive fun, join us in Instagram every Tuesday and Thursday for our Instagram Lives. Kate Younkin and Joe host these weekly. Not only should you not take advice from these nerds, don't take advice from people you don't know. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before making any financial decisions, speak with a real financial advisor. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and we'll see you next time back here at the Stacking Benjamin Show.